Aussie Flipper's current, most recent video. This isn't going to be a critique. This is going to be input. And so I want you to take it that way. I have no beef with Ozzy or any other YouTuber, but this is going to be my response to him. And just take it as advice. I'm not an authority. He's not an authority. Nobody on YouTube is an authority. It's all just people's opinions.
There has definitely been some challenges, though. There's no doubt about it. I think probably the biggest one would be the case that it's just been long working hours. I think when you're first starting out with anything new, you're going to always invest a lot more time than you think you would. So, that what I touched.
Yes, any new endeavor you do, expect to be 80 hours plus, whatever you're going to do, because you have to create a feedback loop. And in order to get that feedback loop quickly, like what I'm doing helping me? In order to get that feedback loop going quickly, the more hours you put in, the quicker you'll get there.
Touched on 40 hours a week learning, 40 hours a week doing. Over time, you definitely get more efficient. But in those early stages, unfortunately, the challenge of just having to give up and sacrifice other elements of your life to triple down on what you're trying to develop is just a necessary frustration, I guess, that you're going to have to put up with.
Okay, so this is not, and he mentioned, this isn't eBay specific. This is with every business. I've started multiple businesses. I've grown multiple businesses, have probably over 100 employees. I've sold businesses. This is not an eBay specific thing.
I certainly did that for a large chunk. It was a good 18 months of just putting my head down and just nothing but work for every single day. But it's allowed me to be in the position that I'm in now and to sit at that coffee shop, after a run and have that freedom to be able to get back into my day whenever I choose to. The isolation element has definitely been a real frustration for me as well this last 4 years, having Courtney on board for
This is a really important point because this is the main point I talk about on Jay Ride's videos. I talk about on Flippin' Ain't Easy videos. I talk about it I respond in Josh's videos. I say it in every single comment section, and this is not true with eBay. This is true with every single business that you ever start, and we will get to it.
I've actually started to enjoy the isolation and just the time with your own self. So that
it doesn't have to be with yourself.
That has definitely been an adjustment period over the last 4 years. It wasn't easy at the beginning.
It shouldn't be 4 years.
But it has become more comfortable as time's gone on. So if you are an extrovert and you're quite an outgoing person, just have a think about that if you're trying to take eBay seriously from a full-time perspective, because that will be, for a large chunk of your early days, very much a reality.
So when starting a business, the very first thing you do is, what I'm doing in this business, is it scalable? Can I automate this stuff so that I can hand it off to employees? Look at every single business that exists. Every single one that exists. That's you walk into, the grocery store, the coffee shop, Apple, Microsoft. All of these businesses, it's the people inside them. It's the employees. When you are building a business, your number one focus, aside from profitability, can I hand this work off to somebody else? If you can't, look, this is my biggest issue with Josh Galt, is that he focuses on antique items and he's learning this stuff, but he can never hand off that work to somebody else. If you're growing a business, you need to treat it like a business. You can't treat it like a hobby. You can't treat it like, oh, I'm learning all this really cool stuff and that I can just keep doing all this stuff because I'm having fun with it. The number one bottleneck is time. It's time with everything. And so you have to learn to outsource your time. If you are not focusing on hiring employees to do your work, and look, I've hired over 100 people in my life. It's not even a business until I have employees. It's just me working. And if I want to work, I can just go work for somebody else. eBay specifically, this is a time business. This is finding items. This is listing items. This is taking photos of items. This is like the most time-intensive business that I've ever been in, other than the electronics repair company that I did. But again, I had to train employees to repair those electronics. I couldn't sit there and fix 100 iPhones in a single day. I had to hire dozens of employees to do it.
And to keep your head above water. Really, really daunting, really quite stressful. And that is why I truly think that the best way to go about eBay is to keep it a very strong side hustle. Make great money from it. You could do $1,000, $2,000 a month.
You can start it out as a side hustle, but in the back of your mind, you need to be saying, how can I make this a front hustle? Because once you say this has to become a front hustle, you're going to start making decisions that are appropriate for making it a full-time gig.
Month in profit, and then have a 9 to 5 job for the true security for all of your bills, and then play with the fun stuff of the profits that you make out of eBay. That's how I think I would do it. If I didn't have YouTube, I would play eBay as a part-time game.
You cannot use YouTube as a crutch. You can't use any business, a separate business or a side hustle, as your crutch. You have to focus. I have multiple businesses right now. Each business has to be profitable. I can't rely on some other business. Otherwise, just get into a more profitable business. Just do something else that is not going to have to be a side hustle.
I wouldn't do it full time. It is so stressful, and the return that you get from it isn't worth the struggle. Hopefully YouTube.
It is worth the struggle. That's why there's tens of thousands of people doing it. That's why there's people that continuously do it. Tech and sports has multiple employees. There's a reason that they're getting to these 7-figure companies, is because they have employees. Time is the ultimate bottleneck in every business.
It progresses and we can make a few more dollars there on YouTube to cover the costs even more so, to bring Courtney into more hours, because that's definitely an aim. But that's definitely been one of the tougher parts, those 3 elements to selling on eBay. But I would give all of that struggle a go again and again and again if it meant that I could keep doing what I'm doing, because overall I'm absolutely loving being a full-time eBay seller. There's no doubt about it. But look guys, it's been 4 years. It doesn't feel like it's been 4 years. It's provided me with so many opportunities.
I have never gone 6 months in any business I've ever done without hiring out. Don't ever go 4 years before you hire. And I know he says he has help. I don't know his situation. I don't know. I've seen several of his videos, but I don't know his exact financial situations. Everything's different. But for people who are new to reselling, don't ever go a year before you start figuring out these systems. Before you ever, you have to look at business long term and
opportunities and learnings along the way. I'm very much looking forward to the next 4 years. These YouTube videos aren't going anywhere. I'm going to still keep pumping them out.
I'm going to link to this video down below. The video is actually pretty great, and you should go watch it. It's just that one particular section, and that's an opinion.